What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, the hype episode 427. It's Heritage Week. It's also some controversy about a whatnot like legal situation that, of course, we got to weigh into. We're probably the 120th podcast that's going to weigh in on that subject today, but you came here to listen to our opinion, so we got it for you. Lots of fun stuff going on. We got Kevin O'Leary again making news. Man, where should we start? Should we start with Kevin O'Leary?
Let's break down the heritage checklist.
The heritage, all 300 and something cards.
Let's break it down. Let's go card by card. Let's get what I like to call back to the basics when it comes to the hobby.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it because I forgot to give people a promo code for that break because we have Classic 10 to get 10% off baseball breaks at Mojobreak.com, where it's Heritage Week. We ship all base. So you can build your team collection for 2026 Heritage at Mojobreak.com with code CLASSIC10. So speaking of Classic, World Baseball Classic, last night, Skeens. Did Skeens help his value? Or should I sell Skeens right now?
When did they come up with, when do robot umps? When is that a thing?
Well, the thing is, if this was
because they're doing it in spring training.
That's the thing. If this was a spring training game or a regular season baseball game, that game would not have ended the way it ended.
It was okay. Now it was a ball.
It was absolutely a ball.
It was a ball.
But
we can all agree on that.
If you go back 3 innings, that same pitch was called a strike.
Yes, at the very least, the ump's got a consistent strike zone. It's 2 strikes. It's a chance. Look, I'm not the guy who should be up here and be like, swing, come on, foul it off, buddy. And when it's like Mason Miller's throwing 103 miles per hour and then throws the most ridiculous slider to you.
I told my softball girls all weekend, good eye. And I would say that on that pitch too. Good
that
eye.
said, in a situation
I think
like
Pujols is like, you probably should have swung.
You gotta
at it.
fight it off. You gotta fight it off. It's you're down to your final moment of the tournament. You gotta fight that off.
And watching that,
easy to say.
And Mason Miller is
ridiculous,
incredible talent.
Yeah.
Why does he throw anything else other than the 103 mile an hour fastball is beyond me.
Because when you throw a slider that good with a 103 mile per hour fastball, you're basically untouchable.
If it's guessed correctly, and you hang that 85 mile an hour slider,
but he was keeping it low and it was working.
He was. I mean, look, we the 3 of us can get 100 chances apiece at trying to make contact on that slider, and none of us would even
probably not the fastball either.
Maybe the fastball would be impossible. The 103, no way. But even that slider, that guy is ridiculous. He might be the most electric relief pitcher in the league.
I think that's pretty. Yeah,
was he worth Leo DeVries at this point? Then I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah,
remains to be seen.
No, proven. Proven talent, major league
there is some
closer.
Talk the Padres might want to shift him to a starter, which is what the A's original plan was. They tried that, it wasn't working, and they said, you know what, just go throw your 2 best pitches at the back into the bullpen, and look what he became. But there was some talk of the Padres maybe thinking, let's ramp him up as a starter.
You know who made an appearance? I haven't seen him for a while.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
Camilo Doval.
Oh,
I know, yeah.
I thought you were about to say Tyler Rogers.
Yeah, because Tyler Rogers was
Did he come out?
He came out for USA.
Oh,
and guess what he did? He got a ground ball for a double play.
He gave up a 480-foot home run.
I was right when it happened. I was about to text and be like, "Is Dan you watching?"
I probably. It's funny because I felt like I watched that whole game. I must have stepped away at that point.
I think that might, and that's why he got the ground ball for the
double play.
Because
I saw Whitford. Was it Whitford?
Mm-hmm.
Come out.
Like I'll be honest. I was doing double duty as well. I was watching that in the Oscars, so I was going.
Well, that was the thing. I think I was in. I'm with you guys because I think I missed Tyler Rogers as well. But I had the game on. I was actually cooking burgers, but I think the game was like if it was a little bit more firepower, which what we expected,
right?
Might have been at the edge of my seat. But
2-1.
Unfortunately, the pitcher duel is. It gets a little boring.
And Skeens was great. Skeens was great. Gave up just the 1 home run to Caminero. The J-Rod catch was awesome. I know it didn't have the offensive firepower I think we were hoping for, but it had moment. It had these distinctive moments that we will definitely remember for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Bobby Witt making some amazing plays.
The DR team basically averaging almost 11 runs a game.
Pretty crazy.
And the U.S. team averaging over 8 runs a game.
Yeah.
And this game ends 2-1.
Well, that's when it's the two best teams.
That's not what people want to see, man.
lot of
They wanna-
chess, yeah.
I want to see 12-10.
You know what it is? It's like when you watch the actual MLB All-Star game. When's the last time we had an MLB All-Star game that was like 10-9? Like that never happens. It's
Yeah.
always like 3-2, 4-1, or at the most. Like it's always super tight because
it was a
baseball.
baseball purist game because
Yeah.
I was trying to get my daughters. My wife was watching it and she saw the J-Rod and she reacted and that was fun. But like that was like the only moment where she was like, oh, she's like paying attention, So they had that moment to bring in the casuals, but it was such a tight game. They had to play that chess game and it was slow, but
Yeah,
we got the matchup we wanted.
It felt like it was
3 runs, 3 home runs.
Yeah, and that has been a thing throughout. And that's not just these teams. That's been throughout the tournament. Oh, so I don't know what the percentage is, but I would guess at least 40% of runs in this tournament have been scored on a home run. It feels crazy. It feels like every single game is just who can out homer who.
I mean,
this tournament.
you look at it, and we're this is actually refreshing that we're not jumping straight into the whatnot thing, but probably should have sent. I know hindsight's 2020, but probably should have sent Austin Wells on that base hit.
Again,
Austin
hindsight.
Wells Fernandez. Yeah.
Austin Wells Fernandez.
Austin, I love it. I love that he was getting like the hair. He was getting his hair cut. I loved it. It was
With the big old mustache.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, probably should have pinch ran for him as well.
There's that too.
There's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not. And Albert Pujols,
Tougher when it's a catcher.
good manager.
too.
He might have a job soon in the majors,
I think
right?
so.
Yeah. Cool to see him out there.
He interviewed for the Angels job.
Yes.
That eventually went to Kurt Suzuki. So yeah, it's still beyond me why Yadier Molina's not a manager for the Cardinals. Like, what are we waiting for? Like everybody, Cardinals fans would be through the roof, would love it. Why is it? Albert Pujols is going to be a manager at some
Yeah.
point.
He dipped his toes in the water. I think he's going to be here to stay.
Which would also, because I do feel like on-field success, the more on-field success you have, the less a chance you're going to be a good manager. I don't know what it is. It just feels like that's always how it goes.
The other thing that I'm going to say, so this game was played in Miami.
Yeah.
Home field for the DR team.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Because
it was close. Yeah.
I know, but I mean, it was crazy. Like,
It was a home game for them, too. So
it was a
worked
home
out.
game for them, but they, like, when Caminero hit that home run, like, that place erupted.
Yeah. Huge.
Well, it's especially the way it was pitched because it was high. And it was a high. He was
was
trying to get him
not-
to chase. I mean, he got him to chase, and it was
Yeah.
like the way he hit that ball was incredible.
That was an incredible piece of hitting. Junior Caminero, you want to talk about a guy that
Yeah.
I feel like
People should be buying his cards
yeah,
right now.
We were talking about it in the shop during the big blowout, I think on Friday, of like, man, he's underrated. His cards don't reflect. He hit 45 home runs last year.
It's the
he's
Tampa.
23.
He's got to break the Tampa Bay
Yeah.
effect that it has on players, and unfortunately, Wander Franco.
Yes.
They gave the Rays some hope, and then now we're back to So Caminero needs to change it around.
The one time the Rays actually invested in a guy and it backfired as bad as it possibly could. And
Such bad luck.
and it sucks because Caminero has nothing to do with any of that. And he's He's getting the bad side.
Dan, do you
of
know
all
how
that.
many home runs he had? Or you watched last night's broadcast, so you probably know. But I was shocked. I didn't hear about it.
How many home runs he had in the WBC?
No,
or
last year for the season.
And arguably, he's been the best. He was the best hitter of this entire
30?
tournament too.
No,
I just said it.
35?
45.
45. 264, 45 homers, 110 RBIs last year. He's 22.
No, he's legit. That lineup, the Dominican lineup,
It's crazy.
is insane. That's why I'm like, how did they score one run?
You know.
Skeens?
Skeens only pitched for 4 innings.
Yeah, but
Like
The bullpen, the bullpen brought it.
Sowards?
Yeah, you had Bednar in there. You had
Or
Rogers.
Bednar's,
I mean,
yeah.
and then once you get to Miller, it's over. It's essentially an 8-inning game because once Mason Miller's in, the game's over. He's not giving up runs. It got close, but
they had like O'Neal Cruz coming off the bench,
right.
and O'Neal Cruz,
And there's still guys who didn't even
Elliott
play on the team.
Elliott didn't play on the team.
Yeah.
O'Neal Cruz. is he like that guy's like a linebacker. He can play like linebacker for
He's
like
6'6".
he's huge. And did you see him get down the line?
Yeah, he's tall, he's fast, and he hits the ball about 130 miles per hour. It's great.
Like, I actually don't think we talk enough about O'Neal Cruz.
Well, because he's
who cares? He strikes
Well, the
out
Pirates need
450 times. It doesn't matter.
Pirates need to make the playoffs for us to
Yes.
really see O'Neal Cruz.
the Pirates need a big
They got
Please
Skeens.
do it.
They got Skeens,
they're
and they got
they're already halfway there.
You got Skeens, Connor Griffin. Everybody's crazy about him right now. You've got great pitching. Pirates, do something.
You've
do
got
something.
the debut patched at Dick's Sporting Goods there in the area,
Right.
You know, so that should be enough.
I
for wins.
would take O'Neal Cruz over Ellie De La Cruz.
You would?
Yes.
That's an insane take.
O'Neal had some promise. You have to cut that one up, see what they decide. O'Neal had promise, but yeah, he just what did he bat, like 240, 230?
He's fun to watch. He batted 200 last year.
Oh,
And I'm gonna say allowed 200.
20 home runs.
Okay.
But again,
How many stolen bases?
He is a StatCast dream. 38 stolen bases, actually.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good, actually.
Dude, watching how big that dude was, and he almost beat that ground ball out.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's fantastic. He's
I
something
was like,
you haven't
I'm
seen
tall
before
as-
as tall.
He's as tall as Aaron Judge.
I'm like, how is this dude not in the lineup?
Let's see. I'm trying to see his average exit. Here you go. Average exit velocity last year, almost 96 miles per hour. And the hardest hit ball, 123 miles per hour off the bat. Crazy.
Who do the Giants need to trade to get him?
He was up for grabs last year.
The nobody is untouchable on the Giants. Who do you want, Pirates?
I don't know.
Speaking of height, I mean, did you see? I mean, I hate to hate on a man's height, but man, Ken Rosenthal out there. I mean, they find the biggest guy for him to talk to. They've had him talk to Judge and Skeens now.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
I
yeah,
get it, but
I
like,
saw that.
It's
So-
like it was just
So Paul Skeens is like
6'6".
7'9".
He's very tall, and I want to say he does himself no favors because I don't think he is. He needs to look. Not to sound like a parent. He needs to work on his posture.
Yeah.
He kind of like when you notice it when he like goes off the mound, he gets a big strikeout. He's kind of like this.
yeah.
Like he slumps.
Ken
the shoulders a
Rosenthal,
lot.
it got to be like 5'7", right?
5'5". I just looked
He's
him up.
5'5"?
Yes. Yep, 5'5".
Ken Rosenthal getting a lot of hate during this
No,
tournament.
he's
by the
great.
way.
I mean, it's not he can't help he's 5'5", but it's just such a noticeable thing.
Yeah.
He's great at what he does, but he just was he the guy that got knocked into too and he gave a
Yes.
stare? Okay, then maybe I see
this
that.
is why. And so now everyone's like, "Oh, we saw the real Ken Rosenthal in that moment."
Yeah,
Where
he,
he glared at that guy. Like, what did he do?
he knocked over a cameraman. I mean, this guy like fell like flapjacked on the back, and he just like dogged it. Like didn't even say like, "Oh my bad" or anything. He just was like, "Why were you there?" It was like the look
What
of
are
like,
you
"Why were
doing
you
there?"
standing there?" So that's probably, I guess that's what's adding to the hate and probably the height problem that he, you know, not that he is in charge of his height, but you know what I'm saying. You know, people are saying online.
That's all I can think of. I'm like, how? Like, I didn't even look it up. I'm like, Paul Skeens is huge.
6'6", by the way. He's an inch shorter than Aaron Judge. But again, like, the way he holds himself, it doesn't feel like he's. I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Come on, straighten it up. You can-
This Bowman stuff is kind of wild. I think it's getting lost in the whatnot news, but the fact that Topps is releasing Bowman Basketball and it's going to be collegiate prospect athletes, both male and female, and then the NBA rookies, all in the same set, all in one set, all together.
I saw a couple comments, and again, this is a couple.
So we won't have Bowman U?
No, they just basically merged Bowman U with Bowman Chrome.
Yeah. And I saw a few comments that were like,
You can do that?
"You're gonna make this product.
I was wondering too.
You're gonna
Sorry.
make this product so much more expensive for people who are college collectors. We wanted a cheaper product to be able to collect the big college names and get their first Bowmans and all that. And now, well, it's going to be
interesting.
jacked up.
It's interesting to the last two Bowman U releases. There's been Cooper Flag, and then before that, no, it wasn't Wemby. It was.
No.
Oh no, wasn't it? Oh,
But
no.
we've had Caitlin and Juju Watkins.
But I'm all.
No, we did have Wemby.
I was gonna
because
say
it was the
Wemby and
Metropolitan,
Clark,
the
the same one.
Metropolitan.
But I'm like,
one.
Yeah.
Bowman U last year was insanely priced
Well,
because of Cooper Flag.
you know what that tells me? That they're not really confident in the prospects that they have coming out of college.
Which feels nuts because all I heard throughout the year was this is a way deeper class, really deep class.
But when people say it's a deep class, it
doesn't mean
it
That means
doesn't
there's
mean
not a one.
There's not. It usually means that there's a lot of really good players, but there's not that generational talent.
right. There isn't a Cooper flag here.
So that's what I feel. I know it allows them to maybe. I mean, we'll see how many vet autos are in here. I assume there would be like less vet and legend autos now because it's such a bigger checklist with Bowman women and men in there. So I think they're gonna be able to, and they'll probably be able to make more overall too, right? They'll be like all the SKUs of it. So
it's just gonna be like I mean, it's just Bowman. It's Bowman basketball, so there's just like Bowman baseball. There's no Bowman Chrome U baseball. So I guess that's really what's happening here.
yeah, I mean, they could have released them separate. They could have made the collegiate one by itself. Bowman's Best or Bowman Chrome University again, and then they could have come out with Bowman Chrome NBA, but they somehow decided that they're going to mash this up. So we'll see. It's going to interesting to see how it plays out because now how do you sell a break? You're going to have the 30 NBA teams, or you're going to have college?
Maybe they only have a couple deals with schools.
Yeah, maybe they don't have as
Maybe they don't have as much as they did before. Maybe there's another manufacturer out there that has signed exclusive deals with certain
be possible.
colleges. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. I think
It ain't bad business to put a Cooper flag rookie auto in any product you can.
I wonder how some of the Topps Chrome collectors feel now that they know. I mean, they probably figured Bowman Chrome was coming out, right? Guys, is it going to hurt the Topps Chrome value?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No, because if we're playing by the same rules as baseball, would you rather have a Bowman auto of a vet or a Topps Chrome or a Bowman rookie auto or or Topps Chrome rookie auto?
Honestly, we need more. We need more basketball SKUs.
Yeah.
So I think this is good.
This is a good thing
This
overall.
is a good thing.
But would it have been better to have them split so they have the university release and then the...
No, because I think it widens the market.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going. I know there's people who are gonna say that now the price is too high. It's gonna price me out because there's, potential to get veterans and rookies in their NBA teams. But it isn't though. It's actually gonna broaden the market and more people are gonna be wanting to get it. So yeah, it's probably not gonna be cheap.
No.
But
I
I think it's safe to say going forward, not a lot of products are going to come out that are going to be bargain products.
No, not at all. And they're going to have your mangas in there. What's that one called with the rock behind it that looks like a color blouse?
Not manga.
No, it's the animation. What do they call it at Bowman Baseball? What's the?
It's just the anime, right?
The anime.
Anime,
Anime. Sorry, there's too much crossover. And
I gotta say I know what they're doing with the TV, like they're recreating the classic Bowman design, but
52. Yeah.
I thought that was gonna be kind of a one-off thing, and they were like, oh no, this is just the design now. Some of them I think we can get away from it a little bit. Maybe it's they need it there, so you're not getting the accusations like these are just mangas, which I mean they already kind of are.
Anime,
right.
Yeah, right. The animes are just mangas. That's what I mean.
And what year Bowman is that? It's not 50. I said 52, but it's not 52. It's the Bowman TV card. What year? I want to get that right. Bowman TV. Is it 51? I know it's not 50 because I just looked that up. Yeah, 51. You're right.
Yep.
No, 55.
55.
55.
It's fun. I remember when it came out like yesterday.
Yeah, man. Back with my Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln Logs. Tinker Toys. Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln Logs.
BB
I mean,
guns.
hey, with the craze of you would think that Lincoln Logs.
Why has it not been
and
a
Tinker Toys? Legos are huge.
Or why has there not been a Minecraft team up?
Oh, you
with
guys
Lincoln
haven't
Logs?
seen the trend? You know where my wife is taking my daughters all week long is to get a thing. It's called a Nido, and it's like
Yes.
It's literally like a ball with it's squishy, and then they make like a fake banana of it, and then they want that, or like a fake literally it feels like we've went back to Lincoln Logs because I'm like, you guys go from all these electronics to now just stuff that you can squish that's $5. At least it's cheap, but now it's selling out and everybody's hunting for these things.
I just saw these for the first time. They're big they got very popular on TikTok, and now I'm seeing them on eBay for $40.
Yeah.
Which they're tiny. They look like you
They
can
make
get them
bigger
out of
ones.
a bubblegum
Yes.
machine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like the Easter set probably goes for a lot because that's what
Yeah.
everybody wants right now because you can color your Nito.
Okay,
Dan's
this one's a
like,
little-
what kind of language are you speaking? You're gonna get into this real
I
soon.
mean, you guys lost. I mean, I thought we were going to really dive into Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys, but I mean,
Let's bring back the Pogs.
Pet rocks.
Pet rocks. You want to talk about a genius idea?
I mean,
just a
yeah.
pet rock.
Absolutely genius.
Love it.
So Mr. Kevin O'Leary's back in the news. Looks like this photo you're showing here, he was on CNN wearing this.
Yeah. Okay. For those who have not seen it or watching at home, this is not photoshopped. I swear to God, this is not photoshopped. What we're looking at is him on CNN Saturday night with a lower third that says global economy on edge as oil prices surge amid strait closure, to be speaking of ongoing global conflicts.
He's gone and lost his mind.
And there's Kevin O'Leary talking about very serious things in a black and silver suit with the chain, with the PSA 10 triple logo man, Kobe, LeBron, MJ on a diamond chain.
Genius.
On CNN.
Genius.
Incredible.
We're talking about it today. Like, he's become a mascot. At this point, I ripped on him last time we talked about it, and I'm like, I actually appreciate the hustle. He's like a mascot at this point for his company.
There's got to be a time and place, though. What are you
He
doing?
probably sleeps like that at this point. He goes to the grocery store and he's wearing that outfit. It's he's going to tell people what he's doing now, right?
How can I just somebody turned that on and went, what is happening? It is one of the most farcical things I've seen in a long time.
Oil-
I genuinely thought it was fake.
Oil what now? I mean, you're just staring at the outfit.
Yeah, you don't care. You're like, it's $8 for gas. I don't know, but that chain is. What's he wearing? What's going on here? I feel like there's a lot of problems.
I did take notice of the gas prices driving this weekend. I was like, $5.20?
Yep,
We're in the fives?
Yeah.
Paying $5 a gallon right now?
we've
It's
reached that
ridiculous.
point. Yep.
I want them someday, and I don't really want them to do this, but me and Dan have talked about this in the past. What is the limit where people will stop driving? Is it $10?
Oh,
$11?
$35 a gallon.
35
$35.
You
Yeah.
laugh. People will.
People got to
People
get
would
around.
still show up to gas stations and pump gas. Like the answer is no amount of money.
People got to get around.
There's no amount. $150 a gallon of gas. People would. It's the same thing with. I say the same thing about beer prices at sporting events or concerts. What is the price where you would not see anybody go and buy a beer?
I've basically reached it for games, to be quite honest.
$20
I will.
it's at
I will
$20
go-
now.
I will do it beforehand.
But okay, yeah, but
That's
if you go to a Giants game or you go to a Warriors game or a Sharks game, there's still people who haven't hit their limit.
Yeah, they want a beer.
I'm like, if a Coors Light was $100, I think there would still be somebody who would
God.
wait and first off, don't hate on the Coors Light. I used that, but that is the greatest beer ever. And if you are going
Can't
to pay
deny.
$100 for a beer, it better be Coors Light.
Yeah, that's
So,
the
$100
age to perfection. Yeah.
We are close.
But I still so getting back to the gas, like I don't think there is a limit.
Yeah, you're probably right. Waymo's going to jump in there though. They're just going to put more cars. That's a crazy. I was thinking about that. There's like no overhead. You don't have real people. You're just putting robots in that make you money.
What's the one I've been seeing a lot? Zeusk? Is that what it is? The one that's like where you can face them. You're facing, like you're in there and you can face each other while you're sitting in the thing, and it's kind of cool. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show Westworld on HBO. But they had there was a season where those were around all the time, and now I'm seeing it. I'm like, oh, that was real. It was a real concept.
Is it
They
a
threw
little?
in there.
Is it like a cube?
It's like a cube.
I think they're using those in Vegas.
Okay. I kind of want to get
with advertising on them.
I don't know, but it's like It's like a mini Cooper looking
Yes.
thing, and
But it's like kind of like a mini. It's like
It's
a
like
Mini Cooper, but sort of like a van.
like a van, like if Mini Cooper made a van,
Yes. Yeah.
like a passenger van.
And you could face each other in the van.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've seen
I have
I've
seen
seen like videos of them. I've never actually seen one in person. I have seen Waymos. I mean,
Right.
you could see them driving around here all the time.
One thing we'll get in this whatnot because I noticed I have like about 10 minutes left. But there's been one parked outside my house. So I'm like, my wife's like, why is it? And there's nobody in there. And I'm all, think about it. They probably have them spread out for strategy because they don't want them to come. Like they're picking up somebody in Santa Clara. They're not going to have them like 3 miles away. They're going to probably park them to the vicinity where they get a lot of calls. So somebody's got the Waymo in my algorithm in my right across the street from my house. It's parked there. Nobody's in there. It's there for hours, sitting there.
Can you you should call a tow truck.
They're on the street. What am I going to do?
Can you tow a Waymo?
I think there's like a 24-hour thing.
Could
They're
it,
not there
could it be
long.
that the moment the tow truck comes, it's like
just-
it's alert. It's like, whoop,
Yeah,
gotta
it
go.
goes. Run. We got a Waymo on the run. All right, let's get into this whatnot lawsuit. So, customer-
Arbitration.
This is from The Athletic that everybody's talking about today. If you don't, hey, maybe you don't break online, but the big, places where people break are Whatnot, Fanatics Live, TikTok, and some others where people go Loop. We were on Loop for a bit. But customers accuse Whatnot of illegal gambling operations over sports card breaks and repacks. So this was reported on SI. Paul Lesko, who is a attorney, like a hobby attorney, so to speak, or he's been involved pretty much since we've been doing stuff that he's been involved in, like litigation in the hobby. He's kind of spearheaded this. And if you want to go into some details about the story, Cody, about like what the, actual stuff is saying here.
Yeah, so basically, highly recommend if you guys have The Athletic, they go into full detail of what's going on. But these are like the 3 poll quotes that I think are the ones that are being the most circulated. This one from Whatnot, we absolutely reject the characterization of this complaint. Whatnot said in a statement to The Athletic, gambling isn't allowed on Whatnot, and we strictly enforce this policy. Card breaks are a long-standing format in collecting card shops, conventions, and in communities that have thrived for generations. While sellers who break only make up, and I thought this was a big key, only 4% of sellers on our platform. We've taken care to bring that experience online in a way that
But
holds
you
everybody
also
accountable.
hear somewhere else, not to cut you off, that
That's fine.
it's their number one category.
Right. Now,
So it's their number one category.
Well, they're not. See, this is the thing. They're not considering singles. If I auction off a single, that's excluded from this.
Yep.
If I'm opening up a personal box, that's excluded from this.
So this is only breaks or repacks.
Yes, and it really seems like, and I'll let Cody finish on that one, is that they're really aiming at repacks. And I think that Whatnot already had heard about this. This is my opinion, allegedly, that Whatnot already got wind of this and started making changes on the repack front. Like you can only sell repacks that you don't make. Like you have to have an approved repack company now. I don't know if that's enough to satisfy, but go ahead and go on with what else is saying.
yeah, the 4% definitely made me scratch my head because there was a part of me like, you're right. If you were to just say it's sports cards, TCG, Pokemon, all of that, I think you're looking at a much more significant number. Not the 4% on a platform that like you could sell anything and everything.
Well, that's what I was saying. There's vinyl rooms, there's clothes,
so many
shoes.
things.
I mean, they have a lot of different sellers.
For our purposes, we talk about that, but like you go on there and you look at the category list, and it's like endless. It's crazy the amount of things. I'll go to Paul Lesko's quote. Quote, they went to this platform to initially just buy cards, and people who are part of this arbitration case just buy cards and quickly found out that that's not what it is. It's gambling. The platform makes its money off gambling, and our clients had quickly gotten addicted to it. It's a dopamine hit. At some point, they even stopped caring about the cards. It's just the dopamine hit from bidding and actually winning an auction to win a spot for the potential to get a team that they want. We think randomized breaks that start off with a wheel spin or a card game or dice, anything that basically starts off with a casino game before you actually get to the cards is illegal gambling. And it goes on to say there's a lot of people I know, firsthand experience. I think I saw he was on SEN today with Gio and talked about how he had a guy that he knew that basically had gotten off of it for a few months and then immediately got back on it and spent almost 10K in like one night on using credit cards and stuff. And so, yeah, that has been a thing I have heard on multiple counts today.
And I'll start this off with my opinion, because I think that what's great about this is I think what needs to change, coming from a breaker that's, pretty much created one of the first websites to sell break spots on 15 years ago. One thing I will say, as far as like, it needs to, like, the bottom dwellers do need to be cleaned up. Whatnot's policy and how they recruit breakers is they've always seemed to take it like, oh, we're going to have as many people on here because, we're going to make more money. We're going to bring more people in. Well, there's not a lot of invested in some of these guys now, where they're able to keep a card. They're able to create some crazy gambling game to get a card, which is, deceiving. But the ones that are doing it right, their customer base is informed. Their customer base knows what they're getting into. These guys are all willing to, spend their money and understand what they're getting into, and they would want to continue using Whatnot. I just think that the swamp, in a sense, needs to be cleaned up, and not everybody should be allowed to break there. And I hopefully that's what will become of this is kind of cleaning things up. As far as, I don't think there's any preceding cases, and I don't claim to be a lawyer, but I don't think there's any preceding cases on this. And with these marketplace apps and all this stuff involved, I think it's going to be kind of hard to prove that this is gambling, because it is kind of, in a sense, closer to the speculative market game that Fanatics Markets is doing, Kalshi's doing, stuff like that. You could say it borderlines on that, but I don't think it can be really labeled as full-time gambling. And if it is, then those sellers need to be, removed, I think, to the health of the hobby.
Yeah. First off, I'd like to say...
Sorry, I went really long, knowing that I'm going to run out of time.
No, that's good. You had some good points. Brian Gray made my Sunday social media super entertaining.
I think he did a lot of us.
Bravo to Brian
So I would
Gray.
like to thank Brian Gray for really spicing up my Sunday.
God, there was just the whole wide range of emotions were on there.
He
had all of them.
Yeah, he definitely shook it up.
The
He shook it
Academy
up,
Award
and-
to making this about yourself when you have nothing to do with it goes to Brian Gray.
Yeah,
Of course, on Oscar night.
I mean, I get what he was doing. I just, people can't see it, and they were just like, "Why don't you tell me if you know?" And I mean, he's like, "I'm not gonna do it." It was hilarious. I actually thought that part of it was extremely entertaining.
Oliver Platt did a fantastic job.
But besides that, like, I don't really know what they're looking to achieve out of this arbitration, besides what Paul Lesko said, and I saw it on SCN, is that they want potential spending limits, which is, who enforces that? Is that enforced by the user themselves? Like, could I go onto Whatnot and go, I'm going to cap my personal spending limit at $200, or is that capped by Whatnot? Because if that's capped by Whatnot,
It's gonna piss people off.
that's just not beneficial for their bottom line,
Right.
or anybody else who's on the platform. The other thing is living in California my whole life, like, and you guys can probably relate to this too, like, it's just regulation after regulation after regulation. Like,
Yes.
everything that you do there's a regulation on. Like, they don't, you want to buy a pack of cigarettes, there's a giant thing on there that basically tells you that this is harmful
Yeah,
for
warning.
you, but people still do it.
Sure.
It's the same thing with alcohol. It basically tells you this is harmful, and people still do it. Like,
There's much worse habits out there than buying sports cards.
this is like the equivalent of me going out and just every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm like, I only eat Twinkies.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm going to eat 50 Twinkies a day, and I'm going to do it for 10 years.
Got to put that in law, just a
And-
maximum of one a week.
And
Dan.
it's
One
like,
Twinkie a
I'm
week.
doing that for a while, and it's me going to the fine people at Hostess and being like, I'm not in good shape anymore.
Yep.
Like, I have, like, I
No,
don't
like
really,
Now
I don't,
here's I think
but there's no warning on the Twinkies saying I can't eat those every meal every day.
I will say this, because I hear what you're saying, but I think one of the key differences, and I think it's one of the things to kind of tie it into where they're talking about gambling, specifically sports gambling, is you have to go out, and if you want a pack of cigarettes, I still have to get in my car or walk to the store or whatever. I have to go get that pack of cigarettes, right? From the grocery or from the gas station to the grocery store. I can go on my phone. I have a casino on my phone in my pocket, you know, like that's or whatever, or an app or something like that, where like there's nothing stopping me from that. So I guess that's
but with the speculative markets now with
Right.
Robinhood, Kalshi, Fanatics, and those are all app based. It's the same exact thing.
And I would, and frankly, I think there is,
And
I think regulation is only a matter of time.
But what
for
is
those
also
things.
the difference of you going onto Whatnot and buying a personal box or packs, or going on TikTok live and basically doing packs of stuff and just ripping packs, and you're not getting anything at least of value of what
Right.
you're paying for.
Right.
I to me, I feel like this is more of a money grab than anything else. This is more of a let's throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. Now, Whatnot, it's tricky. Like, they can't really settle because they kind of set an example for every person who's ever went onto their app and spent any type of money. They're going to get in line next and be like, well, I want some money back.
Yeah. That is the part here where you're right. Now it's going to be like every app, every live e-commerce app that's
It's setting
doing
that's where I look
sets
at
a
it and I'm like,
precedent
that's scary.
right.
That's scary. I mean, again, at the end of the day, I can speak for myself. I don't want anybody telling me what I can or cannot do with my money. And I think that's what these regulations potentially can be put in place. And that's exactly what they're going to do, is basically tell you, hey, you can't do this, or you can do this. Or if you are going to do this, then you can only do it for this amount of money.
Yeah. I do think, to what Doug was saying earlier, I do think this gets more lumped into the predictive markets rather than your gambling apps, all those sports betting, all of that. Because it's just a little tougher to pin down, because again, you are paying for a product and you will receive a product at the end. More oftentimes, I know there's some breaks where you're not, you skunk.
But
obviously.
the prediction market, you don't get anything.
Exactly,
You
which
get-
makes everything really weird and up in the air with
you get nothing. I did it firsthand last
Right.
night. I took the Dominican team to beat the U.S. team,
right.
and I didn't get anything. They lost.
Not placing bets on the Academy Awards, which I believe you also could have done.
Yeah,
last night.
I don't know. I honestly, I didn't watch any of the movies
That's fair.
that came out. I actually, internally, they were doing some content for, I think it was Instagram. They were asking about what was your favorite movie of 2025?
Yep.
They had to skip me because I don't think I watched anything.
Didn't watch a single 2025
I don't know.
release.
And then it hit me. I did watch a movie, and it was, I think, by default my favorite movie of 2025, Spinal Tap 2.
Oh, I still haven't watched it.
Oh, you're missing out.
Spinal Tap is one of my all-time favorite movies.
I don't think it was, and I didn't watch the Oscars last night. I don't think it was nominated for anything,
No,
but
but
it should have been.
It did get Spinal Tap did get obviously because of the very tragic news about Rob Reiner, but there was a Spinal Tap reunion on stage. With all the cast of a lot of Rob Reiner films all there to honor him. So it was a nice moment. But to get back, if like the one thing that can happen here, you said it, like this is going to be sort of tough to get whatever is being asked for, or I think there's a narrative online. Let's put it this way to really crack down on it. There's a narrative online from certain folks who are like, this is the end of breakers.
Okay, and I'm glad you spun that, because I was going to say the same exact thing, that, oh, well, finally the reckoning is done.
Yes.
The day is over for breakers.
This is the beginning of the
the
end.
beginning of the end. And look, I mean, there's no secret that we've been breaking for a long time. It's not our sole business, but it is a major part of our business. There is this common misconception that breakers are the reason that people are priced out of the hobby. And that isn't the case. And by Whatnot, if Whatnot went away tomorrow, there would just be another platform breakers would go to, and you would basically see the same exact thing that you're seeing now. It just would be at a different setting. The reason why the boxes go up or why they are so expensive is the substantial amount of marketing that we see when these big cards get hit. Like, there's modern products that come out weekly that you can pull out 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. There is a modern card that is probably going to sell for $3 million in the next couple weeks that came out of a modern product. Yeah. Those actually, when you look at the grand scheme of things, breakers actually benefit the least when products go up. We already got our initial allocation. When products go up, we get a second solicitation, but it's closer to market than it is anything else. So who's benefiting are the manufacturers. Who's also benefiting is Joe Collector that went onto a Whatnot stream, bought a spot for $30 and hit a $100,000 card. So it kind of works both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, by the way, the card you're alluding to, I'm assuming the gold logo man, which I saw was on, was on Sports Center.
Judge Otani.
Yeah.
Dual gold logo man.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Kevin Nagani.
I think you could also bet on what that's going to end on Kalshi, I believe.
This is the thing is I think we're in kind of a Wild West area when it comes to all of this. When it comes to predictive marketing, especially predictive betting, well, not betting, predictive markets or whatever. I think that is this going to be the thing that ends breaking? No, obviously not. Are we going to see maybe there's something that's changed as a result of this as sort of a Whatnot throwing them a bone? Potentially. If anything, if it makes it where I think it was Doug was mentioning, where you do have, it's something that we mentioned on this podcast plenty of times, that the vetting process is not as thorough as it is on a lot of these other live e-commerce apps. It's not what it was.
I absolutely agree with that, but that doesn't change the addictive part of the app or the industry.
Right.
Ripping packs, being blind wrapped is going to be addictive no matter how you digest it. Like, you go to Walmart and buy a blaster, you're going to get that dopamine hit by opening up the blaster. If you don't hit anything, you're going to want to go get another one. So I know you're getting something, but you're hoping to get something for more than what you paid for it. So I think at the end of the day, it's probably going to blow over. We're probably not going to be talking about it. I don't think Whatnot is going to settle with some type of payout. I think that sets a dangerous example going forward for their business and every other live commerce platform in our industry, and for that matter, any industry.
Do you think that maybe the middle ground, or at least something to sort of the middle ground here is maybe Whatnot, and eventually maybe some of these other live e-commerce apps put some language or put something there where they're like, hey, or maybe even a message of when you're spending a certain amount, hey, are you everything good? You like maybe you want to slow down or like go outside, put the phone down, or
your app just shuts off.
right. Hey, this is not. I remember this. This is a weird pull, but I remember I can't remember what video game it was, but there was a video game where if you were playing a certain amount of time, it actually gave you a message. You've been playing a long time. Consider stepping outside. Turn the game off for a bit. Go get some fresh air. That essentially, but for breaking, or again, you can really go down the road and have, as they do on gambling websites of like, if you have a problem, call this number, things like that.
I think that could be a possibility. A QR code or a gambling anonymous hotline of some sort. Again, I don't think that is what the real like end game is here.
It's not.
I think it is a let's see Whatnot is sooner or later potentially going to IPO. They probably don't want any bad press. I don't know when that's happening. I'm not in an inner circle that would know that, but if it is soon and somebody sees an opportunity and like, okay, I'm going to go in there, see if I can get them to basically pay me off so it can get swept under the rug and then they can go on to the bigger picture. Yeah, I kind of look at it as it's a monetary cash grab.
Yeah. I think too, there is something that to be said about this is getting a lot of attention. I mean, it's the fact that it's in The Athletic, which is part of the New York Times. So it's in the New York Times, this story happening. That's getting a lot of eyeballs. And regardless of what happens here, I think also the goal is to get people who are not usually paying attention to this to take a look and maybe specifically possibly people who work in the United States government, who are congresspeople or whatever, and go, what's happening with this industry? And maybe you get the ball rolling on something else where it's like they maybe take a deeper look. I think that's absolutely part of this, the calculus here as well.
Yeah, that also is, I know on the surface probably looks like, oh, that'll be great for our industry. It won't. It won't be good for our industry. It'll actually work in a negative effect.
Yeah. There's going to be, again, there's with all these things we talked about, I do think it's a matter of when, not if, at this point with having to bring these things up and talk to people who have never heard about this, and maybe it happens at a Senate congressional hearing. I don't know.
But Doug and I have been talking about, for 16 years, we've been talking about this.
Right.
Like, if this happened 2 years into our career of being group breakers, I'd be like, oh, okay. But we had already done our research and we've already had gone out of our way. We've hired a sweepstakes lawyer. We did all this stuff to make sure what we were doing. And granted, like, there is a lot of gray areas. I think in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, I think this is gonna just kind of blow over. We'll see. I mean, I wouldn't envy being in Whatnot's position right now. It's they're gonna have to make some decisions, and it's gonna be kind of all hands on deck and try to figure out what they're gonna have to do. But again, with us, like, we've kind of diversified from we basically are on essentially every platform, and we obviously have the brick and mortar, and then we have the gaming portion of it, and we have PSA in our location. Like, the one thing I can say about other companies in this industry, if you're a breaker, like, diversify and don't kind of put all your eggs in one basket or one platform.
Yeah, exactly. And I did see a few people throwing it out, like, do you think Fanatics and Michael Rubin right now are like, that's right, Bring them down. Bring them down. So I saw a couple conspiracy. The people who like to do the conspiracy theories of like, we're bringing down whatnot. Michael Rubin and Fanatics are.
I get how people
it is.
could take a step back and just try to connect the dots. I don't think there's anything
No.
connected with the two companies. And I don't think this was, brought on by Fanatics to get at whatnot. But that's the interwebs, man. That's where we're at. So
Yeah.
People love the conspiracy theories. They love to try to, figure out a narrative and connect the dots. But no, I don't think those two are connected by any means.
No, definitely not. I know we like to have fun with that, but yeah, you can put that one to bed. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think it totally blows over here.
Honestly, I'm a little underwhelmed with the story itself. Yesterday, Brian did such a great job of anticipating what it possibly could be. And this morning, I was like, that's it?
I think he hyped it.
That's it?
I think people were like, Fanatics acquires Panini.
No, and I knew
something like that.
I knew it wasn't that, but I was like, is it a change to like a distribution process? Is it
right.
a change to retail distribution? Like, are the manufacturers going to take more of a in-house approach to, distributing retail SKUs? I was like, is it something on that front where I think would definitely disrupt the day in and day out of our industry? There's so many people who are not affected by this in our industry that don't sell or buy on whatnot.
Right. The one thing, we'll kind of put a pin on it here, pretty soon here, but I was seeing a lot of the reactions to the repack stuff. I don't feel like we've talked too much about that. I saw a few reactions that were like, if you go to card shows, you don't realize how huge repacks are to this industry and to certain people, keeping certain people afloat in this industry. And obviously, repacks have been a huge lightning rod for a while now. The transparency of it from certain folks or lack thereof has been a big thing. And there's no surprise that is a big part of this is the use of repacks. So I don't know if anything, again, it feels like they've already whatnot kind of just did some due diligence on trying to make that whole process more transparent, or at least the writing in the proper language to cover themselves in the event of something like this. But I don't know.
And I've seen it and you've seen it, and I kind of cringe. And the one thing that like we don't do here is really a lot of repacks.
Yeah.
Like and not that I dislike them internally, to build a great repack and have value for the end user, it is a lot of work. It's a ton of work, and it's a lot of work to scale it and to do it on a big scale. So it's just one of those things where like you just don't have time to do it.
Yep.
And there's a lot of companies out there that kind of do third parties that you can buy, your own branded repack, and they'll basically design it and pack it out for you and put the content in there. But you're giving them a chunk. And then if you do that, it's basically the people who end up losing at that point is the end user with the value. The value is not there. So yeah, I don't know. I don't love the transparency that I see on whatnot when it comes to repacks. The one thing that really is cringeworthy for me is if somebody is ripping, and I get it, like they're ripping 10 boxes and they're doing multi-sport, and every single team, they're like naming off like all the main players. Like, oh, you got Mahomes and Curry, Jordan, LeBron, like it's like the same script every single break. None of those players might even be in the whole print run.
Right.
But you're selling it on this potential that doesn't even exist probably.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think needs to be regulated. Is not the buybacks in general, it's the way they are sold.
Yeah.
Is what I think needs to be regulated. I think Whatnot I think Whatnot is trying to navigate that.
Yeah. And I mean, that would have an effect where there are going to be people when they have to admit that the best card in their run of buybacks.
It's gone, bro.
Right.
The chases, and I get it, like, you're going to get destroyed financially if you basically come out and go, look, everything of value that's high dollar has already been pulled.
Yeah.
Starting the auction at $1. Like it's a tough way to sell.
Yeah. Look, we've been there. I know when we've done our own, and we, like you said, we don't do it often, but once or twice a year or more, like there will be it'll be like an event. We roll it out, and I've definitely been there like years ago selling personal boxes of a buyback where I knew, we hit the top 5 cards already and we're down to 10. So
yep.
Let's see, and you have to do what you can.
Yeah, but you go on any, and it's not isolated just to Whatnot. You go to any live commerce platform, and they're doing auctions for a buyback, and it's like clockwork. You'll see the same script every single time. It's just you have 30 players, marquee players from all these sports.
Yep.
And you just keep on mentioning those players. And it does not matter that these players are not represented in this run. You just keep on mentioning it.
They have a list of the top 200 most iconic athletes of the last 25 years, and you just name it.
And that's the thing that's tough to watch.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't be doing it if it doesn't work. It definitely does work. But I don't agree with it.
Yeah. Great. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens, if anything, over the next coming weeks, months, maybe. I don't know. You're saying weeks, though. This is something we're not talking about in maybe a month's time.
I don't think we're talking about it next week. I think we've moved on to something else. Like, not maybe the next story, or we're talking about the dual logo man Ohtani Judge.
If it ends up selling for whatever
that's what we're going to be talking about. And then that's I think the fundamental issue is that, and it's also not an issue. It's good. It's a good thing that like these modern cards are selling for an insane amount, but the box prices and the break spots are going to reflect that. You're not going to be able to get into a break for $5 and hit a $50,000 card.
Right. Yeah. I think even if we don't hear about it, I mean, I think there will be something. I think something happens, maybe not of the significance that the folks who put this case together maybe want, but I do think there will be some sort of response, whether that's within the language that's used on the app, whether that's a warning, or whether that's a more due diligence to try to get people to not, go get into have all these horror stories that you hear from the guys that we've heard from today. But
I mean, I wouldn't. The spending cap, I don't agree with. I agree.
And I can't imagine.
I agree. A spending cap that can be set from the user's settings.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good feature. Like if you're like, I want to be able to max $200 per day. I also think it would be fine if there was a push notification that if you're on the app for an hour or 2 hours, it does a push notification and tells you what your total spend was today.
Yeah. I think that's a good call.
Like these are all things that I think are added features that I think can be useful. I don't think forcing Whatnot to have a concrete max spend set by whatnot on your account without you being able to override it is the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's well said. So, well, let us know in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube, what you think shouldn't happen, will happen with all of this. And of course, make sure to subscribe to Mojobreak Media on YouTube. If you're watching us, make sure to search Mojobreak wherever you get podcasts. If you're watching, and subscribe to the podcast. And we appreciate everybody listening, subscribing, Mojobreak Media, all that good stuff. Lots of good breaks this week. We didn't really get much into the new releases, but Heritage Baseball's out there. Smuggler's Outpost Star Wars looks pretty cool. I'm actually pretty excited to rip that thing.
And Prism Black Football.
That's right. Get in on those breaks, Mojobreak.com. Use that promo code Classic10 to save on baseball if you want to get in on Heritage. And we will see you next time on the Hype.